ignore the people
Shank.
the other
Well,
gangs are doing.
look who it
We'll
is.
domesticate them soon
Liking what
enough.
you've done with the place, boss. Gang certainly seem pleased with their new little kingdoms. Haven't seen people this revved up since last time someone spiked the water fountains. Never formally introduced myself. Name's Shank. And if you're standing here, well, I suppose Gage figured you might be the one to finally get things back on track. How long did it take him to convince you it was time to move on the Commonwealth?
Sounded like a good idea.
Because it is. Giving the gang spots to call their own around the park, it bought you some goodwill. But providing them with their own domains, carved from the settlements of the Commonwealth, well, I can't think of a better way to solidify your place around here. Plus, make us all a pretty penny along the way. If that interests you, well, all you've got to do is say the word, and we can let the fun begin.
Okay, let's get started.
Music to my ears. So getting us set up in the Commonwealth's gonna require 3 things: territory, provisions, and loyalty. First things first, territory. We're gonna need to claim a settlement for our gang to work from, an outpost. And there are 2 ways to claim new territory. You can head in yourself and convince the locals to leave, or I can get a crew together and you all can put them in the dirt. How you do it is up to you. So, first big decision. You want to talk them off their land, or you want to wipe them out?
Let me talk to them. I'll convince them to leave.
Works for me. Once you've planted your flag in the place, I'll send a crew in to set up shop. Now, next up, you'll have to pick who you want to hold your outpost once it's established. Of course, every outpost you claim for a gang is going to be something the other gangs don't have. And none of them like the thought of their rivals getting a leg up on them. Worth thinking over as you dole out more territory. So, which gang should I have join you once you've staked your claim?
The Disciples.
Yeah? Better bring a tarp. That just leaves the target. Now for a new outpost, you'll usually want to target a spot with plenty of populated settlements nearby that might be able to feed our people later on. Taffington Boathouse, Croup Manor, Greentop Nursery, the Slog all had a good number of farms within striking distance last I checked. Though I'll need to go through my notes again. Make sure they're all still good to target. We're not always going to be able to run every job against every settlement. So, you ready to pick the spot for Nuka World's first new homestead?
I'm ready.
Good. So, where you want to do this? Yup, that place'll do. So, to get these folks to scram, you got 2 main options. Buy them out, or scare them off. Either way, the more afraid they are, the simpler or cheaper getting them gone will be. Lizzie Wyeth over with the operators should have some toys that'll make running them off easier. And it's worth keeping in mind, the more populated or fortified a place is, the more prep you're gonna want to do before trying to run them off. Scare them good, boss.
I thought about trying my hand at...
You know, I'm not convinced pack members aren't just barrels someone doing stupid outfits.
Hey there.
Overboss. A pleasure. Shank said you might need some tools to ease relations with the people of the Commonwealth.
Well,
You've come to the right place. I've put together a couple of toys that should make getting what you want out of those roofs easier. Only thing we ask in return is that you remember the operators when you're handing out new territory on the other side of the mountains.
Don't worry. Your gang will be taken care of.
Wonderful. So, first up, something to manipulate a target. It's a homemade distillation brewed to mimic human flight pheromones. Toss one of these grenades at the feet of your target, and convincing the wary settler suddenly becomes a much simpler affair. Now, to function effectively, I had to make the formula precise. So it's not going to work on people in any of the big towns like Bunker Hill or Diamond City, nor on caravanners. But for your purposes, hitting settlements out in the Commonwealth, it ought to give you a serious edge.
Take any advantage I can get.
Well, this should give you one. Here. Only had enough to make the one locally. But you can take the recipe as well, should you find yourself wanting more. So, the other trick up our sleeve is a little more broad spectrum than the grenades. Gulp down a couple lungfuls, and anyone you speak to will be far more apt to give you what you want. Plus, I've winnowed down the addiction risk to near zero, so no need to fear repeat usage. Here. Ingredients for that one have been tricky to find, but between that and the grenade, you should have no problem getting at least one settlement under your control before you have to brew up your own. And just remember us when you're crushing those poor settlers underfoot, hmm?
We'd all considered putting a bullet in Coulter's back at some point. Suppose you just beat us to it.
Not supposed to hurt the other gangs. No rule against propaganda. Boss, making trouble? Good.
Hey, you.
Hey, something I can do for you?
There's a gang of raiders coming for this place. Mine. But if you leave right now, I promise you, we won't have any problems.
You want this place? Listen, not trying to piss you off here, but I'm not sure that's going to work. This is home.
Look, I'm trying to help you here. You need to go. Now.
Oh, that's how it's gonna... Fine, take it. Place is all yours.